As another day of school begins, so do the challenges that confront our children when it comes to their safety. Many schools, primarily considered a place of learning and development, are also becoming a place for children to settle their differences. Believe it or not, aggressive acts of violence in our schools are becoming more common. It starts with bullying, and if not discouraged at our offset, can easily lead to more violent degree of behaviors. Intimidation factors and fears can often preoccupy and destroy the child's ability to concentrate in their schooling. In some of these cases, it even leads to suicide. The sooner that you can discourage this type of behavior in a child's life, the lesser the chances are for them to join those groups that often provide them with a sense of security that eventually leads to gangs. So what can we do as parents to discourage this type of behavior, you might be asking yourselves? If we choose to listen, just simply listen, we might just get some of those answers from our very own children. On this special edition on One-on-One, the topic is bullying. And my guests today range from age 10 to 17. They come from different neighborhoods, different schools, but they all share one thing in common. They've all experienced what we call bullying. Shaquille from Charlotte Amalie High School. Natalie's also here with us from Charlotte Amalie High School. Taquan from Charlotte Amalie High School. Jada, also from CHS. Christopher from CAHS. Jermaine from Montessori. Cira from Montessori. And lastly, of course, Josiah from Lockhart School. Okay, are there specific areas in the schools that we as administrators should be paying attention to, or is it just across the board? Yes, Saya. Across the board? Yeah. What about the playground? Is that a common place? Yes. I mean, especially like in junior high school, elementary school. It was pits, yeah. What about the corridors as you're walking in the hallways?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Sometimes like it have people line up on both sides of the hallway, and as you come through, you just hearing comments getting through.
Especially for girls, it's the worst. Especially if it's like you and 4 of your friends, and it's just a bunch of guys there, and it's just like, hey miss, what happened to your head?
So you get bullied a lot.
And then you hear the laughter going, like it's like a ripple. Like, oh.
We're laughing about it, but it's such a sad situation because, I mean, I have to compliment you all, the fact that you've experienced these things, but yet it hasn't broken your spirit. However, bullying, the worst case scenario that bullying does is that it prompts people to actually become suicidal. I know that in working with children, I've had situations where kids have actually gone through the process of wanting to kill themselves because of being bullied at school. A couple of weeks ago, we were in your class, I think it was in Jada's class, and we were reading an article that came out in the newspaper pertaining to a girl, or a group of students that had actually taken their lives because of bullying in the state of Ohio. And we are looking at it thinking that it's an isolated issue, but in our schools too, we have people that want to kill themselves because of being bullied. What was some advice that you would say to those kids? What would you say if someone comes to you in a situation like that? How would you handle it?
Think of how many people you have here loving you on earth with you, that if they knew about what was going on, how they would try to help you.
Okay. All right. Anyone else wants to add on that?
And that your life is like more than insults for people.
Right. But haven't we heard that expression that words sometimes actually kill?
Yeah.
You know, kill our spirits? Yes, Jada.
But then sometimes for the person, they have to remember that other people don't make you. You make yourself. You could take the insult that they're putting at you and make it to be something good about yourself too.
That's true too. Anyone else wants to add?
I actually had a friend who came to me about committing suicide, and I slapped him.
Okay.
Because I mean, like, you have me, you have a whole group of friends that care about you. And just because like one set of people try and pull you down, don't mean that you have to let them get to you. I mean, you have us who are helping you, pulling you up, try and help you do better. And then you have those people who try and influence you negatively. You're going to always have that set of people.
Right.
You just can't let them get to you.
Okay. All right. Yes. Yeah.
And a lot of times, like, it sounds corny, but it actually helps. Like, if you just pick up like one of those like inspirational kind of books or something,
it really helps. Like one thing I loved when I was younger that I read is like a lot of times people may harass you or put you down about something about you, but because it's something in themselves that they're insecure about, and they probably can't. They know that if they were in your position, they couldn't handle having that flaw.
Exactly. And when it comes down to bullying, there are kind of different types of bullying. We right now in an area in a world where it's all about the use of what? Technology. Does bullying take place using technical devices? I mean,
They have a movie.
they have a movie coming out. Okay. It's out. All right. And we constantly hear about how vicious girls could be as it relates to cyberbullying. Boys do it too. But I don't know, for some reason, girls, the research says that girls are even more vicious than boys. They go on there. Give me an example of how you cyberbully.
I had for my birthday, I took a picture.
Okay.
And my back was facing the tree, and I was posing cute. My friend was like, "Oh, you think you look cute? Your boat is sticking out 8 inches out." I was like, "What?" I went sad. I was like, "Really? How is it sticking out 8 inches?" And then I went the next day, and I had on a dress to school. And my friend was like, "Oh, you know your bottom gonna drop to the floor as big as Texas." And I was like, "You know what? I'm so used to y'all."
And you have put that on the internet.
They put it on the
They
internet.
put it on the internet. All right, give me another example.
Like some girls would like message like for a comment and tell them like there's I could say
Say it.
a whole skirt, a spaghetti, all kind of words, and like it'll hurt them.
Yeah.
Like even if they're talking to boys and they coming up to other girls, probably they're jealous because they're talking to a boy who they like also, and they like the thing that is sleeping with all boys they're talking to.
Right.
Yes. It had this one when it had this one girl, she would be like randomly, she would just be dissing these people, and then some people that she wasn't dissing, they would come on it and they would be like, don't acknowledge her and just stop commenting and stuff like that. And then I would also be, and then out of nowhere she would start dissing me also, and then I would be like, but I don't even know you, I don't even know where she is. And she would just be like dissing everyone that would be commenting, trying to stand up for the people that she's dissing, and then she's still doing it, but nobody pays attention to her anymore.
One of the social medias that you often engage in is on Facebook and Twitter. Okay? A lot of us follow the status of everyone else if they're part of your little network, if part of your little clique. But I know that in reading, sometimes the comments that are made are just offensive. And I ask you, how is it that, some of us are able just to post and think that the things that we say don't really have a negative impact on others? I mean, what's your take on that?
Well, I personally feel that we have a lot of Facebook gangsters.
Okay. That's a good term.
Facebook gangsters. So all the stuff that they can't tell you to your face, they post it on Facebook.
And does that make it right? If I can't say it to your face, then I'm not bullying you, really. Is that it?
No.
Because am I not still bullying? I mean, because bullying could be used verbally, non-verbally, through pictures, so that's still another way of getting to another person by bullying, yes.
But somehow, like, if they're in person, they wouldn't show that they weak inside. Like, they try and show you that, like, they're a bad man, or they didn't care what you say, and then, like, when they're home, sitting down at their computer, and when they're seeing all them comments get through at them, they start feeling bad and that's when the suicidal thought come in their head.
That's true too. I mean, there was a case in Florida where a girl had sent a naked picture to her boyfriend, and by the time she went to school the next day, everyone knew about it, and that kind of set her off to the point that everyone kept bullying her, everyone kept teasing her. What do you think was the ultimate result? What do you think she did?
She killed herself.
She killed herself, and one of the reasons why was the fact that, again, being cyberbullied and being bullied at school. So before we enter those comments and before we press that word called send, we need to stop and think about how those words that we share have a direct impact on a person's lives. I haven't heard much from you, so I'm going to bring it back to you. Do you think that the use of technology has helped or hurt the issue with bullying? It's not helping it at all. Why do you say that? doesn't make any sense. Bullying sometimes stops children from wanting to come to school. You know, and for us on the territory, we have approximately 686 absences a day. My question is, how many of those absences are due to the fact that children are being bullied and they just don't want to come to school because they're being bullied? What's your take on that?
Because I know this one girl, she stopped coming to school altogether because people would talk about her hair, they would talk about her shoes, talk about her clothes, but they didn't understand the situation she was going through. So at the same time, she thought about it as, okay, I could stop coming for a while, and then eventually she just dropped out. And every now and again I'd see her and I'd be like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm doing nothing. I don't want nobody to tell me anything about my hair. I don't want nobody to tell me nothing. I told her to herself, I said, all you're doing is letting people judge you instead of you giving them something to judge about. And you could give them something good about yourself and they could approve it from the day one and decide.
Right. And it's very, very sad, but unfortunately those things happen. If we were to formulate a youth council to address this issue of bullying, what would be some of the things that you would want? If we are walking in a high school, it doesn't make a difference whether it's Antilles, Montessori, All Saints, CHS, Lockhart, Kent. What would be a good place to start to say, this is what this council is going to do about bullying? What would be some of your ideas? How could we fix this problem? Because it's a prevalent problem. Here it is. We have all of you from different schools, different age group, but yet the problem is consistent. How would we fix it? What would be, if you were in a position to create policies as youth members, what would be something that you would want to tackle in that area?
A lot of times, like when Chuck was talking earlier, when he said he'd make fun of a girl, like a lot of times some people, when they say mean things, they really don't have bad intentions. Like sometimes they could just be joking around. That's just how they make friends. So it's like what some people need to understand is not everybody has the same kind of understanding of comedy as you. So you should first get to know what people get offended by, and then base it by that. So if I know Shaq have a problem with me with his height, I'll be like, I won't really talk about his height that much, and if I do, right after I'll be like, I'm joking. Okay. Like establish the fact that it's just a joke and you're not serious.
So establishing those parameters to say, okay, I'm not bullying you, we're just tossing the idea, we're just joking around, this is just a joke, or be sensitive to the other person's needs. Okay, that's a good thing.
Like, say the person, they're having a bad hair day or something, you don't have to, it's like your hair looking nappy, all you do is pull them into the bathroom, say, okay, let me help you with this, let me fix your hair a little bit, let me put this in your hair a little bit to help you tone it on a little bit. You don't have to blast it out, hey, your pussy, don't do that, because in the long run, you're just making up right to feel like, oh gosh, everybody just know that if I find something in my bum, I need to fix it. Okay. You don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that. But from a male perspective, it's a little harder. Girls will have a tendency of checking each other and hooking each other up. But males are always asked to be like, hey, hard, you got to keep this image. So are you going to pull your boy up and say, listen, dude, you're really not supposed to be doing this?
That's your real boy.
That's your real boy. You're going to tell him? You're going to break it down? All right. Anything else? Any other suggestions? What about for school administrators? If I'm a school principal, what would you want to say to me on how to reduce and address this issue called bullying at your school?
I think you should bring somebody who had experience with bullying or who probably had a suicidal thought or killing himself, and speak to children who have the same feeling how they feel. For even at different ages, somebody.
All right, so create a community sense of awareness. Let some other people understand what you're going through as part of being bullied so that you can kind of be the conduit of change. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but don't post it up if you're being bullied, come to this meeting at 4:30. Because some people feel like a coward, I don't want to go.
They don't want people to know
that
that's happening.
That's happening.
They should sometimes there's a limit. Some children should know and some children shouldn't know, so there should be an age limit to it.
Okay.
There's different categories. If it was elementary from 3rd grade, you shouldn't be talking about the whole kind of
sex thing, cyberbullying.
Okay. All right. So keep it within the age groups but yet still address the issue. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the possible solutions, so stay tuned. One-on-One.
The Virgin Islands Marine Academy is preparing our children for careers in the marine industry by offering a full curriculum of courses and certification in crew member sailing, safe motoring, sport and game fishing, PADI open water, lifeguard training, CPR, and first aid.
The U.S. Virgin Islands depends mostly on tourism, and like any other island that is considered a destination of choice, water is central to our survival. And these waters offer sport fishing, motoring, sailing, diving, and many other recreational activities that are second to none. All of this depends on well-trained, qualified individuals to help support the system known as the marine industry.
Should you choose to make a donation on behalf of the Virgin Islands Marine Academy, not only is it tax deductible, all monies received go directly to the support of the Academy.
That's what we came up with the show. Interesting people. We wanted to be one-on-one, conversation, not your traditional talk show. We really want to provide you with the real facts, the real talk, one-on-one.
There's some that will tell you there is no real evidence of gang problems in the U.S. Virgin Islands. There are some that want you to think that the violence we read about each day is isolated to a handful of teenagers and younger adults interested only in shooting and killing each other. To those people, we would like to say, thank you. You're the reason we formed an organization called the Virgin Islands Anti-Gang Committee, focused on gang prevention and a safer community through targeted outreach, training, and education.
We're talking about some of the recommendations that we could make to our school administrators to reduce the bullying incidences. And Shaq, you had one.
Yeah, so I was saying that we could have like drop boxes where you can go and like give like anonymous tips, like tell what's going on in the school, tell if you see somebody getting bullied without stating your name, so that nobody knows it's actually you and nobody can find out, yeah, he's a snitch.
Okay. All right. I like that idea. How do you feel about that? Do you think that a suggestion box with an anonymous in terms of specifically positioned in certain areas in the school where you can just drop your comments, that'll help? Any other suggestions? No? All right. Now, as we wrap up, let's talk about, because we want to keep it real on one-on-one, let's talk about, and this might be a little painful, but, you know, it's all about the healing process and it's all about learning. What has been the worst experience that you've had with bullying? The worst? Yes, Jimmy.
Well, right now, I used to be like really close friends with this one girl, and out of like it was last year, and then like we've like separated a little bit, and then this out of nowhere another girl came in, and she like bumped me out completely from being friends with this girl, because she's been putting things in her head that I've been saying things about her and that I've been calling her names, and then one of my other close friends, I would start talking to her because I didn't have anyone else to talk to. And then the same girl that bought me out of with my other friend, she started to tell the girl that I started talking to some more things that she claims that I said to her, and on. And then so they talk about me behind my back, and I just feel like, oh, they hate me now, because they were like my closest friends. I would tell them everything, and this one girl just came out of nowhere and tells me lies, and it just makes me feel abandoned and hurt.
So it makes you feel bad. It makes you kind of feel left out of the loop. All right. Jada, what's been your worst experience?
Well, my worst experience was in Atlanta campaign. I was ganged up
You getting beat up?
by 3 dogs because one girl went and told them that I said PA, which is when co-working schedule. And they followed me from the gym all the way up to the art classroom and decided beating on me in front of the art teacher. And I ended up getting sent home because they thought that I started it. I got sent home for 2 weeks. And the principal told me sometimes if you just want to shut our mouth and keep quiet, sometimes you'll be fine. But I never said anything, and I ended up paying the consequences for it.
Wow. What about you?
Back to elementary, best days. I apparently talked like a white girl. Even like I grew up in Brooklyn, so everybody had their like accents and stuff. But how my mom raised me, like I grew up like reading and stuff, and so like, and she didn't like to hear how some of the people around us talked, so she made sure I had like good grammar and stuff. So they used to like harass me about it. So anytime I had to get up and speak in front of the class, they just take that opportunity to just bash everything about me. It's like, oh, why she look so, and da-da-da-da, like from how my face looked, my hair looked, my weight, my shoes, everything. Like they just harassed me about it. Like there was a point in like 3rd grade where I had like one person I could really say was my friend, because everybody else was just being extra mean.
And how did that make you feel, Mary?
So horrible. Like there was a time I went home and I cried to my mom. It was like I've known these people from the time we were like 5, and it's like how in a matter of 3 years could everything change like that? I didn't understand that.
Let's hear from the males. I'm sorry you have to go through that.
When I was younger, Yu-Gi-Oh cards was the thing. That was what we did lunchtime. We just played Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And I had like the best deck. Nobody could beat me. And like I told you before, I was the shortest kid. So there was a day that like 3 or 4 of them just decided that they were gonna beat me up and take my card. So I was coming out of the lunchroom, and I used to go to Joseph Sibley. So like when you come out of the lunchroom, it's like a corridor, and nobody don't be back there. You have a bathroom here, the exit here, and then you're going this way to go back to the front of the campus. So as I come out, like 3, 4 of them come out of the bathroom, and they jump me and they beat me up and they take my cards, and I would just stay. You know, it was hard to make back over my deck. But yeah, it just, I don't know, I guess it just made me stronger as a person.
Okay, but you still had to go through that process of being brutally beaten up over your for cars.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Worst experience? Let's hear from you. Worst experience.
Not really, but I experienced somebody playing gang.
Okay.
Because too, like one time I went Savannah, on top of the court, and then I had like a boy who had a good bike, one of them 16, and then like 2 boys come over, and then they slap him, take his bike, take his shoes, and take his hat. And then I was like say, I hold it on the boy, but like they tell me something and I feel stupid too. So then I went home, and then they just leave him there, and you were crying.
He was crying. Yeah. Anyone else? Josiah, what was your worst experience, and how did it make you feel?
I don't have any.
Okay. So the worst one was in your class, in that class that you were talking about, in your Spanish class. That was the worst experience. That was it. Okay. And Jasira, the work. Now that you've heard some of the comments that your classmates and that your peers are making in terms of their personal experience being bullied, how does that make you feel now that you have to do some personal introspection and say, wow, I never really stopped and thought about how my actions affect others?
Well, listening to all of you talk, I really feel bad because I didn't realize how much it really impacted the lives of the people being bullied. And I myself was bullied by my older siblings, so I guess that's why it's yeah, that's why I do it too. And it's not really a pleasant thing at all, because I should know. I never liked what they did to me, so why should I do it to my younger sibling?
And I think if there's one possible solution and one outcome of this discussion is we have to always treat people like we like to be treated. If there's a situation where we see in our community that someone is being bullied, don't be afraid to talk up. Because if we don't speak up, then we continue to perpetrate the problem. We're also part of the problem as opposed to being proactive and being part of the solution. Bullying is definitely a situation that takes place in our schools, in our community. And we want to make a difference. And one-on-one, you've heard it from the voice of our youth. We want to make a difference and kind of stop the issue that's going on. But we need your help. If you see a situation where someone is being bullied, stop and address it one time. If you're a school administrator, you know that there should be a zero tolerance for it. If you're a mom, listen to what your children have to say. And if you're a student that you're being bullied, please speak out, because we are here to help you. Thank you for tuning in on One-on-One, and I thank all of you. Give yourself a round of applause for being here and keeping it real on One-on-One. And thank you so much.
United for Solutions, helping to produce television programming that informs and inspires the community to take action on social issues.